Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Citrix 20 and 21. Myself Muhammad Naidul Islam, and today I am going to present an intelligent system for hearing disorder detection using auditory potential signal. And the co-inventors are Nurjam Sulaiman, Mominur Rashid, Mahfuz Mustafa and Mohammad Sawal Zedin. Let's begin. This is our outline. The outline contains background of our study, problem statement, objective of our findings, methodology, result and discussion, and conclusion and future work. Let's look at the background of our work. Approximately 466 million people have different kind of hearing impairment in the world, and 34 million people are children. The hearing disorder impairs human-to-human communication and their learning capability. The auditory evoked potential, a type of EEG signal which has been commonly employed to detect the early hearing disorder. The feature detection and classification plays a vital role in any BCI, EEG-based BCI system. And there are some basic problems that happen when trying to implement this analysis. The people who are unable to maintain the verbal communication and their behavior response to the sound stimulus, AP-based BCI technology could be an effective alternative to rehabilitate their hearing capability. The APA data is non-stationary, non-linear, and is very challenging to figure out the most effective feature and classify this signal. A conventional hearing screening test applicability is limited as it required a feedback response from the subject under the test. The most suitable feature extraction and classification approach may increase the performance of EEG signal. The main objective of this study is to build an intelligent hearing diagnosis system using the auditory evoked potential signal. To achieve this objective, the sub-objectives are to analyze the EEG based auditory evoked potential at the auditory cortex of the human brain, to figure out the most effective feature extraction approach for the identification of AP signal, and to provide an ultra-fast diagnosis system for the hearing disorder people. The data acquisition protocol is shown in this slide. The first and most important part is data collection. According to the 1020 electrode position, F3, F4, T7 and T8 has been placed in the head of the subject, and we collect the data from this area. Each trial contains 40-second data, and from each trial we cut the 5-second data and finally achieve 35-second data. Here you will see the data acquisition procedure. For the data collection, the brain activity has been recorded from the 5 subjects, where the 3 subjects are male and the other 2 subjects are female. Uh, in order to capture the brain activity, here we use the emotive insight, and the device has 128 Hz sampling frequency. Each subject are provided 60 to 80 decibel auditory stimulus through the headphone. The next one is the block diagram of the proposed methodology. This is the flowchart of the complete methodology. The first step is data collection, and here we use the data from the 5 subjects. In order to capture the brain activity, 5-channel emotive insight has been used in this analysis. A total of 100 trials has been achieved from the 5 subjects and 50 trials for each class. Then we split the dataset into a 2-second time interval. Then, in order to train and test the model, we randomly split the dataset in training set and testing set. Here we use 70% dataset to train the deep learning model, which contains a fewer trainable parameters, and the rest of the dataset is used for testing the validation of the proposed diagnosis system. For the feature extraction, here we use the CWT, and the CWT convert the time domain signal to a time frequency domain image. Then the extracted time frequency domain feature has been classified by the convolutional neural network. Then, in order to evaluate the deep learning algorithm performance, here we use the different type of performance evaluation technique. The raw data plotting is shown in this figure. Here we segmented the data into time windowlet 256. The next figure shows the time frequency image. Here we concatenate the 5-channel data, and each image represents the time frequency information of the 5 channels. From the table 1, you can see the performance of our proposed system. Here we achieve the accuracy is 99.63%, the recall score is 99.75%, and the F1 score is 99.58%, and the coherent kappa score is 98.18%. The next figure shows the overall performance of the entire testing dataset. In the class 1, the 376 observation has been correctly predicted out of the 378 observation. And in class 2, 520 observation has been correctly predicted out of 521 observation. So here we achieved a very encouraging performance compared to the previous study. In this slide, we show the graphical user interface GUI of the proposed system. The purpose of create this interface is for making easy the system to the user, and the user can easily handle this. Here, to show the model performance, we shuffle the testing data in a manner that if we put the odd number, then it calls the unlabeled data when the subject is able to hear the auditory stimulus, and if we put the even number, then it calls the unlabeled data where the subject are not able to hear the auditory stimulus. And last, it processes the analysis using the time frequency distribution and the deep learning method. In the GUI, you can also show the raw plot of AP data and the time frequency image and the overall performance of our proposed system. The proposed diagnostic system consists of two steps: signal to image transformation and build the diagnosis method using the deep CNN. In the method, the CWT is used to convert the raw signal to time frequency image, and then the CNN is used to classify the time frequency image. This approach achieves the better outcome with fewer trainable parameters, which will help to reduce the training time of the model. The applicability and the effectiveness of the proposed method is verified from the collected AP data, and where it achieves 99.63% testing accuracy. Thus, identification and classification of AP signal is very difficult because of generally the AP signal is unstable and vary from human to human. Moreover, this study will help to identification human hearing disorder in an effective manner, and in future we will collect the more data set, and we will make the data acquisition protocol for in the further study. Here is the list of my publication where I use the AP data for diagnosing the human auditory disorder. This project is supported by University Malaysia Pahang with the research grant RDU 180396. Thank you everyone for listening.